Yeah, Sam, you can you're setting up for the or you.
Can I speak or?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can.
How do you do a full screen?
Sorry, I missed you there, Sam.
A full screen on it or?
Yeah, so it will enlarge just a click away.
Okay.
That's how it is. But yeah, now this is, yeah. I think you need to slightly enlarge it and remove the side.
Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. I can get started. Again, quick introduction. I'm Sam Onukuri. I'm the head and the senior fellow with Johnson & Johnson. Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk with you today. And I would like to talk a little bit about how the 3D printing as a technology platform has really been reimagining and rechanging the healthcare landscape, specifically from my company perspective. Very quickly, just want to, for those of you who may not know who Johnson & Johnson is, we are one of the bigger healthcare companies based in the United States. We are an $80 billion US company. Approximately 50% of the revenue is coming from pharmaceutical side, and the other 50% between med device and the consumer health products. One of the things J&J has been doing over the last few years is been really taking advantage of 3D printing technologies and really scaling it across to disrupt the innovation across all these three different sectors: med devices, pharmaceuticals, and also on the consumer health side. If you look at how the external environment is shaping up, if you look at the pandemic, what is happening right now, this technology really can help bring access and personalization and really a large level of transparency to the healthcare in a very, very highly digital environment. So some of the urgency and the needs you can see in this world, and personalization and customization is one important area, and 3D printing really enables that particular aspect of it, what our customers are wanting. If you quickly look at how the healthcare globally is, right? We have aging populations. Definitely the clinical outcomes are very important, focusing on the outcomes, the reduced reimbursement and the healthcare cost. There's a lot of lack of personalization and total cost too. So there is an opportunity for us to really bring in these technologies to help solve some of these problems, whether it's 3D printing, robotics, bioprinting, various type of pharmaceutical type of things. 3D printing plays a very important role in bringing solutions that the innovation so that we can solve some of these the big healthcare problems going into this. Very high level, if you look at 3D printing and a personalization specifically, if there is a common workflow, if I take it at in a surgical level, where you could use the DICOM data from CT scans, X-rays, MRIs, and able to design a custom product, whether it is a guide, instrument, implant, a model, and able to print it locally in the hospital setting or outside. There is a complex variety of personalized instruments, implants, and plugins that we create. The same workflow would also work with the region medicine or the bioprinting. The bioprinting space is expanding quite a bit, able to create a workflow within the clinical setting, in the hospital setting that we could take the patient cells, incubate them, build and print them into a scaffold specifically for the anatomy, implant it, and able to deliver a regenerative solution that will not have foreign metals and polymers in your body, right? Similar type of approach to workflow on personalization is pharmaceutical area is to take your genetic information or your genomics and able to print custom product, custom medicine, whether it is multiple APIs together or it could be customized APIs in the right dosage form. And similarly, outside the medical side, the consumer experience is similarly can be delivered with skincare in the beauty space, where you could take a picture of the anatomy you want, able to design everything on your smartphone, and able to print that particular stuff, either a face mask or other beauty type of things, in a retail setting at home, and able to deliver that for yourself. So 3D printing enables a wide variety of personalization solutions, not just in the medical device space, but broadly in pharmaceuticals, and also in the consumer space. In J&J, we have focused on 5 areas and how this 3D printing can be game-changing. One is definitely, we talked a lot about the hyper-personalization and able to print on demand within a hospital setting or a clinical setting or a retail setting is definitely, this 3D printing is helping us. Second is the design possibilities. So traditional design and manufacturing cannot deliver certain innovation that 3D printing can really change it. Like, we'll give you some examples a little later. Because of portability of the technology, we see this technology can be mobile, have these in a big truck and able to move it to different locations where the need is, providing access to the folks who need that. 3D printing also brings a lot of efficiency and gains from a manufacturing perspective. And then lastly, being an additive technology, we see a lot less cost and from efficiency perspective, and also it is less wastage and sustainable technology. So these are the 5 areas I think the applications have been implemented across. Very highly, I think the process by which we have been applying this technology to the solutions for our patients is to really understand where the clinical customer need is, able to digitally design the particular need, customize or non-customize, and really print at scale. The advantage of this technology is, one, it is the speed of which you could change a design, customize the design, and the freedom it can bring, and also ability to scale it. Compared to traditional manufacturing where you have to build tooling and fixturing and everything else, 3D printing brings that ability to scale very fast. So there are some examples of things which have been done, whether it's a surgical cutting guides, personalized consumer products, hip implants. Recently launched a patient-specific graft cage for people who have large focal defects in their bones. The CMF space, implants in that area, and surgical instruments, and so on and so forth. Just a few examples of areas which are getting quite relevant and available in the markets. I'm just going to do a couple quick examples of how 3D printing really enabled. One is what is called as a graft cage, a long bone graft cage. So this is when a big section of your long bone is removed for various reasons, whether it is a trauma space or due to oncology. A 3D printed, first of all, a scan is taken from the patient of that anatomy. and a 3D printed cage using a bioabsorbable PCL material along with some bone growth factors is built in. And then once you take the cage, healthy morselized bone is stuffed into the cage, and it's put around the nail and also around the bone. We see a significant, this is one of the new to the market, new to the world type of a concept. 3D printing really delivered from personalization, also a clinical advantage. This is in market right now, in various markets globally, to deliver some very therapeutic, much needed therapeutic solutions for the patients who have this type of significant trauma. Advantage of this technology, 3D printing, has provided very great graft retention, which is one of the issues in the field right now. We can adjust and customize the absorption of that bioabsorbable polymer anywhere between 2 to 4 years. So depending upon your overall health, the physicians can adjust the reabsorption rates. And then there is definitely certain osteoconductive coatings that have been promoted, which also delivers the bone growth and advantage to that. So anyway, just a quick example of how 3D printing has delivered some of these things. The other area is the bone and growth structures in hard titanium implants, whether it is joints implants, and you see the bone and growth structures in there, or the inner body cages in spine implants. We could customize, custom design, or even create very complex designs to really enable creation of these structures, that the bone and growth structures, that it provides a very superior bone growth and osteogenicity. So definite advantage from 3D printing, able to deliver that in a very critical way. So as you can see, some of the structural advantages of using this technology to build that bone and growth structure, and then you coat it with the hydroxyapatite over that. So just kind of little examples of a couple areas where this technology has really bring a lot of value in orthopedic, or just overall in the med device space. Some of the things, what is happening right now within the companies, we definitely taking advantage of this, what is called as the bone and growth structures, and really expanding into all the devices where this could be applied and bring value for patients. We talked a little bit about the patient-specific implants, whether it is a hip cup or the graft cage in trauma space. Definitely it is happening and scaling very well. And definitely in the consumer space, there's big push around the personalization, whether it's a beauty products, whether it's a wound care product, healthcare products, vision care, a lot of applications in that space. And then the surgical tools themselves, whether you want to customize it for a physician, customize it for a certain anatomy patient, so on and so forth. Definitely that's happening also in parallel. In future, we definitely are working diligently in these 4 spaces. One is definitely 3D bioprinting. You may have seen a lot of presentations in this conference also, whether it is a meniscus, soft tissue, cartilage, hard tissue like bone, both for either as a tissue augmentation when you want to replace the tissue, or if it is for testing of different compounds and things of that nature, that these bioprinted tissue can be used for that space. So printed electronics, 3D printing of electronics and sensors, whether it is onto instruments, implants, or even the consumer product, is also an emerging area, getting a lot of traction. Personalization of medicine, right? Whether it is multiple APIs, really dosage forms, really adjusted to the patient needs. And lastly, this 3D printing is also creating new business models. I'll give an example of what is called the point of care printing. Many of you may have heard that already, but I'll give you an example around that. So definitely a lot of energy and excitement how 3D printing is continuing to shape where we go from the innovation perspective. I'm going to just quickly touch base some of the applications we are seeing moving forward. In orthopedics, I talked a little bit about the bone and growth structures. There is also quite a bit of an effort around using this technology in the next generation 4D printing, using various stimuli to change shape, right? Whether it's in expandable cages, different type of products where we can fine tune the shape as the body grows and anatomy changes. So using technology like 4D printing, the stimuli response materials is also an emerging area. Definitely taking advantage of this technology for anti-infection, able to use anti-infectives within the powder or the resin, able to deliver certain things in the hospital setting. And also some of the engineering properties, creating high strength, wear resistance, so on and so forth. Integrating the sensors is also an emerging area. Definitely will be adding more. And the point of care printing, I talked a little bit about it, able to print stuff very quickly in a 24-hour time period for a custom implant and deliver quickly in the surgical setting. Is also one of the emerging areas. And the bioprinting I mentioned, the cartilage in the soft tissues, but also hard tissue like bone, right? Hyperelastic bone with targeted biologics and drug delivery platforms linked to that. So those are some of the areas 3D printing can bring a lot of value in the orthopedic space. In the surgical areas, the surgical robotics is becoming a lot more used, both from navigation perspective, but also pure surgical effort also. So personalization of some of the end effectors, bringing that digital surgery in conjunction with 3D printing is also getting very, very important. There is a lot of the micro-printing technologies, including electronics, sensors, within very catheters, ablation devices, is also an area we are expanding quite a bit on. And then lastly, we talked about, how do we innovate downstream with the personalization in the point of care setting is also applicable, like what we talked about in the orthopedic space. In the consumer applications, we definitely touch base a little while ago. There is an oral care device which can provide oral care cleaning solutions customized for your oral needs. Skincare products, beauty grade products, some of these things are printed with sensors, so it can customize your needs specifically and be able to deliver the solution in this context. And then just the whole where we are printing that, whether it's printing at home, printing in a retail space, that area is going to be the workflow space is going to continue to evolve in this area. And then lastly, there is also application vision care, whether it is printed contact lenses, vision devices, surgical devices, incorporating some of the sensors and actives, delivery mechanisms within the contact lenses is also going to bring a lot more differentiation in this vision care space. Lastly, I think I touched already on the pharmaceutical space. I think definitely the personalization and precision medicine is going to continue to grow. The lots happening in the space, whether you're printing pediatric or geriatric dosage forms within the compound, within the clinical setting, can also be used for a standard, standard delivery of drugs, compliance of things. So 3D printing is definitely bringing a lot of value in profile matching, dosage forms, bringing sensors technology and able to print them for compliance sake and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of innovation happening in the pharmaceutical space also. So I just wanted to quickly touch base on this one area, what is called as the business model innovation. the point of care printing, many of you may have seen this happening. A lot of the hospitals and physicians are taking advantage of it. Able to put this printers, polymer printers, and sometimes even metal printers, very close or inside the surgical site, that when you take a patient data, you can take the CT scan or an MRI or an X-ray and able to plan the surgery. We print those models, print the anatomical model or the device model, whether it is an instrument or a cutting guide, and then able to simulate the surgery early on a complex surgeries, and able to plan the surgery. It's saving a lot of the surgical efficiency, bringing surgical efficiency and saving time. In the similar context, we could also use 3D printing technology near or in hospital setting to able to print instruments personalized for that particular case, and also implants and so on and so forth. So a lot of the work right now is happening mostly on the anatomical model space, but we do see that it will expand into more of the custom guides, instruments and implants in orthopedic space. And then beyond that, I think once it starts in orthopedics, definitely will expand into other areas too, quite a bit. So a lot of major hospitals globally are doing that. Examples, Mayo Clinic in the United States, Northwell, United States, a bunch of hospitals in the Europe, and also in Asia and China too. So just high level emerging area. It's going to definitely shape how 3D printing can bring innovation into the hospital setting. I just want to also give a quick, community, quick innovation, what this community, 3D printing community brought during this COVID crisis, right? I'm sure that we have seen a lot of these examples in India also. But in the United States, when we had that, the pandemic really coming through, we were able to quickly, as a community, able to deliver, taking the technology to scale quickly and deliver solutions to the healthcare needs. One example is a ventilator splitter concept, which is able to, when the ventilators were really on demand and did not have enough, 3D printing was able to print some splitter concept to be able to use the same ventilator on 2 patients. Face shields, various PPEs, swabs for testing. 3D printing was able to provide some unique differentiation and able to print models, various type of things for the therapeutic reasons for the patients. It really did bring a big value during the pandemic. I know it's still going on, but the crisis at the peak of it was, we were able to take advantage of this technology to bring solution quickly to our customers. Just kind of a high level around this, how we operate. One of the things with this technology is changes rapidly within this emerging area. So our strategy is really to be engaged with strategic partners globally, able to quickly reach and work with folks globally to scale that. Whether it is a large strategic partners or niche technology partners, we definitely are important and to collaborate across. And then a lot of the early end innovation happens in the academic settings, and some, definitely the governments are a big important area that promote this innovation, provide incentives, and it's happening in many countries, and I see that also in India too. And then definitely the large hospitals and medical setting, we continue to work partnership with them. So you can't do it by yourself. I think this community of 3D printing community, but also the clinical, governmental, and the technology community need to be together to really bring this innovation to forefront. So just in quick closing, I'm just going to say that this technology, 3D printing, I see that not as just one individual technology. It's a platform of technologies, starting with polymers to metals, to bioprinting to electronics. It's overall is well integrated into bringing therapeutic value and value to our patients and the customers globally, to all of them. So with that, I'm going to stop and see if there are any questions, comments we can talk through. Okay. If there are, I'm not sure how the questions would come about, but if there are no questions, we can end. Thank you, everyone.